Welcome back to the channel, everyone. I hope you guys are doing well. Happy Halloween. We're doing 2 streams in a row, back to back, one night and then the next. And we might just have another one tomorrow night as well. Now, this is a live event, guys. If you're tuning in afterwards, you click the thumbnail, you want to see the stuff, I'm going to let people trickle into the room and kind of get a little bit of a vibe going, talk about my Halloween. If you want to get straight to the analysis, scroll on the bottom there, look at your little bar that goes across the bottom of the screen, whatever it's called. Look for the chapter that says Start Here. When you get to that chapter, that's where the analysis starts. Just scroll across to that if you don't want to hear me waffling and welcoming people, if they should choose to come and join the stream into the room. So yeah, I want to say first of all, like it's Halloween. That's why I'm dressed here like Darth Vader. I actually wore my Darth Vader helmet. My wife was not super happy about it because we got a 2.5-year-old, we got a 5.5-year-old. I had my lightsaber going too. I mean, it was dark, so I thought it's going to be loud. By the way, it's going to be loud. So it was a little bit dark. So anyway, I was out, I had my lightsaber going and, you know, safety first and everything like that. My youngest was dressed as Pikachu. She was in a little Pikachu costume. And my oldest, who's 5.5, she didn't wear any costume. Credit to her. She knows when she doesn't feel comfortable, when she's going to have a temper tantrum. So she just wore a sweater and like a comfy pants. And she was zeroed in. I'm telling you, man, this, like, the older these kids get, the more they just get zeroed in on the candy. Like a real quick trick or treat. Like, hey, trick or treat. Like, what's in the bag? What's in the bowl? Like, straight for that. My youngest, she had chocolate like all over her hand. Like, she had this whole like Cadbury's Dairy Milk bar like all over. I really wasn't doing a great job monitoring it. It was hard to like see what was going on because I had my helmet on, this Darth Vader helmet, so I couldn't look directly down. And of course, my wife wasn't super happy. But anyway, we had a great time. We had a really, really good time. Everything was cool. We got around. The weather held up really nice. It's the first Halloween where we haven't had like loads and loads of rain. So I thought that was pretty cool. So anyway, 3 things I want to chat about tonight, guys. Look, 3 things I want to chat about. So this is where the analysis is going to start. I'm going to talk a little bit about Sword and Shield booster boxes and sealed product because they are starting to rise up again. I want to talk a little bit about Terrestrial Festival because there's some crazy things happening with that. And I want to do a little Gengar check-in because, hey, it is Halloween. So I'm going to pull up my screen share here and we'll get going on it and see what happens. Present. Entire screen. I'll find a smoother way to do this one day, guys. All right, so here we are. So I want to kick off first with Evolving Skies. Like, obviously, Evolving Skies is going crazy. I'm not really talking about that too much, but you guys can see what's happening here. It's getting pretty crazy, like it really is. I called Evolving Skies, I said a year ago in 2025, end of 2025, we'd see this box at $12.50. Well, I was wrong. I was wrong. It looks like it's going to be $1,200 by the time Christmas rolls around, the rate it's growing right now. 29% in the last 3 months. The last month or so, most of those gains have happened as well. It just seems inevitable. It's, you know, people ask me, you know, if they're just getting started out, what should I buy? What should I get into? Well, if you guys have the money, get some Evolving Skies. Like, it's one of the, if not the best set of the modern era, one of the best sets Pokemon's ever done. So many great hits. So yeah, it's really going crazy right now. The Elite Trainer box has kind of bridged the gap on the per pack price inside. Like, lots of people ripped open those Elite Trainer boxes when the variance in pack price was so, I think it was like 20% at one point between the cost for a booster pack inside an Elite Trainer box versus inside of a booster box. So I think it's pretty cool that these boxes are just absolutely going wild. So grab an Elite Trainer box, grab some booster bundles, grab whatever, it's not booster bundle, grab some booster packs, whatever you can of Evolving Skies, like it's going. But we're not talking about Evo Skies right now. We're talking about the other Sword and Shield sets that are starting to climb up quite quietly under the radar. And the theme here is, don't forget about Sword and Shield, guys. I know the focus right now seems to be very heavily on Scarlet and Violet. Oh, wow, it's growing so quickly. Like, this is incredible. It's Pokemon Mania. Like, everything's happening. But Sword and Shield have some incredible potential as well. So let's have a look at Lost Origin, first of all. So the booster box for Lost Origin, over the last month, we're up 12% on this box. And Lost Origin is my second favorite set in terms of investments for the Sword and Shield era. I think it's going to do the second best out of all the main expansions. If we go back 3 months or so, it's climbing. It had a little bit of a dip here, but if we go right back, as far as TCG Player will go anyway, we can see that we had this kind of whole thing with the Sword and Shield alt arts going crazy, like sealed product, kind of around May time. End of May, things kind of dipped back, corrected a little bit, and they've kind of been a little bit like roller coaster ever since. It seems like they're trying to like level up now and kind of push past a new resistance level. That's what it feels like to me. I think it's pretty exciting right now. I think you will see these boxes absolutely fly in the spring when it's tax return season, when all that fun stuff's happening. So yeah, we're seeing some swish gains here on Lost Origin. And curiously enough, we're seeing some gains here as well on the Elite Trainer boxes, which I think Elite Trainer boxes, they've got to be out of inventory now, most places, right? I mean, surely distribution doesn't have that much Lost Origin left. Is it going to get a reprint or a restock? I don't know. But it really feels like this is the last holiday season where we're going to be seeing Silver Tempest, Lost Origin, Brilliant Stars, Fusion Strike in these lunch boxes and Sam's Club big packs. Like, that's just how it feels to me. Anyway, so the Elite Trainer box is quite quietly climbing very nicely, plus 25% over the last 3 months. Again, almost half of that gain coming in the last month. Moving on, we'll talk about Surging Sparks 1.0. You guys might remember this set. It's Vivid Voltage over here. And I drink a little bit of my nightcap. So what's happening right now is quite curious. I don't know if people who are newer to the hobby are just thinking, well, everyone's talking about this big Pikachu set. This one seems a bit cheaper. Like, let's go for this one here. So this is crazy. It's the same price as Surging Sparks pretty much right now. Surging Sparks is in pre-release. But it's climbing up 10% over the last 3 months. I think there is some Surging Sparks hype here for Vivid Voltage. But yeah, I just wanted to draw you guys' attention to that. The Elite Trainer box, not really doing too much, but we'll see what that's up for the year. And yeah, that's not really doing too much at all. So anyway, not the best investment to make right now. But if you don't have any Vivid Voltage and you want to fill in some gaps, go for it. Brilliant Stars is up 2%. And Brilliant Stars, guy, I just don't understand it. I just don't. It's incredible. Like, it's Unbroken Bonds for me. Like, this set just feels very slept on out of all the Sword and Shield era sets right now. Like the Charizard, you got the Arceus in there, or Arceus, you got the Galarian birds. You got some really just amazing stuff in this set. I don't know why it hasn't flown up more than it has. I think it's a powder keg waiting to happen. And if you take a look, it's up to 2%, but it hasn't really fully recovered from like that high point like Lost Origin starting to do. So yeah, I'm a big fan of Brilliant Stars. Elite Trainer box, not really going anywhere either. But I think that's a great pick. I really do. Silver Tempest, same thing. It's the last made expansion. I'm a huge fan of Silver Tempest. So we'll start to see that go. But a set that is starting to come up again is Fusion Strike. And a lot of people underestimated Fusion Strike. I really, really like it. It's close for me with Fusion Strike and Lost Origin. So we're at 228, so 229, something like that. In the last month, we've gone up 8.5%. And if you look at the last 3 months, we've kind of bottomed out and we're starting to come back. So I wouldn't bet against Fusion Strike getting back to where it was. I mean, it was pushing 250 a box when we were into kind of April, May time. I think we're probably going to get back to that before Christmas time, the way this crazy market is going. But the big story with Fusion Strike that I'm looking at right now is the gains that are happening on the Elite Trainer box. This is my favorite Elite Trainer box from Sword and Shield, possibly my favorite ever, just in terms of the artwork on the front. I'm a huge Mew fan. So over the last 3 months, we're up 22%. Over the last 6 months, 29%. Over the last year, we're up 83%. This Elite Trainer box keeps going. I would not sleep on this Elite Trainer box. I know there's a lot out there, like, yeah, the shipping labels, a lot of stuff, all that. Like, this is a cool one, guys, and we're out of rotation now. Like, I think if you don't already have these Elite Trainer boxes, you've got some room, they are probably going to be a very, very good pickup. Now, Astral Radiance is climbing up a little bit too. We got an 8% gain in the last month on Astral Radiance. A little misty action for you guys. Elite Trainer boxes, they're up 1%, not really too much to write home about. And finally, Chilling Reign. Chilling Reign isn't my jam. I don't know what it is, the Frozen Tundra. I don't know what it is about the set, but I just don't feel that great about Chilling Reign. But from an investment standpoint, like it's coming back up. 6% gain in the last month. Again, we're going to see it recovering almost all of what the correction was here in kind of May, June time. Chilling Reign's coming back up in the spring. It will fly. So guys, please do not sleep on these Sword and, well, sorry, do not sleep. Don't forget about these Sword and Shield sets. Okay, guys, don't forget about it with all this crazy stuff happening with Scarlet and Violet, because I think these guys are poised to make some real big leaps and gains, and you're going to be out of the woods very soon in terms of that reprint / big restock time horizon. So I think you're really, really, like, it's just going to be a home run very, very soon for Sword and Shield. Okay, moving on. I want to talk a little bit about Terrestrial Festival. A little bit of Terrestrial Festival. I'm seeing some weird things happen, and quite honestly, guys, the longer that I spend in the hobby, the longer that I spend making content, buying stuff, the more that I just kind of feel like people have very, very short memories. Very, very short memories. And Pokemon, they're a company that repeat the same things over and over again very much, right? They hammer what works, they hammer their strengths. Now, I'm seeing people get, like, these are dealers, like distribution, whatever you want to call them, guys out of Japan selling boxes. wholesalers, let's say. And they're like, hey, when the card sets get released, when you start seeing the leaks, you guys are going to wish you'd pre-ordered all this stuff because the price is going to absolutely skyrocket. And I can just see some Mickey Mouse stuff happening here. I think we're somewhere in the region of, I think you can still buy them in Japan at like $36, $37, somewhere around that. If you want to buy like one box right now and the pre-order, you're somewhere around $50 once you've got it through customs and everything like that, US. And then it kind of scales down from there if you buy bigger quantities. But and if it depends if you want it like right at release or if you want it like a few days later. So this feels very reminiscent of Shiny Treasure EX, like last year, guys. Like, again, this is before the Japanese market really started to bottom out. Before, like, I mean, 151 was still $200 a box at this point. We had $200 151 boxes. We hadn't seen all these Scarlet and Violet sets really come down to MSRP yet. So, or below MSRP in many cases. The printers hadn't really started firing for Scarlet and Violet in Japanese. So we had like $100 Shiny Treasure boxes. It went down to 80, 70, 60. I was saying, hey, it's still a buy sub 60. I still maintain that long term, but the printers just kept going with this set. And I don't think Japan really fell in love with it the way that the export market did. I think it's a great set. I love it. Got loads of boxes. Got one back here. I think it's really good. But what's going on right now, guys, just feels very similar. It's like, hey, the leaks are going to come out. The pre-order price might get ramped up a little bit. We've had this year of lower MSRP stuff, but we haven't really got anything on this set yet. I mean, outside of, this Flareon, and so this Eevee and this Flareon here, like, nothing's really even been released. Like, we're going to get like another Moonbryon out of this. I don't know. Like, some people like the Crystal Hats, some people don't. Let's wait and see what comes. I'm excited about it, but you guys can spend your money however you want. If you guys want to go and FOMO and blow your brains out and you think it's going to be the next thing that's going to go crazy, that's totally fine. But I think we're going to see sub $30 boxes at some point next year. The demand is the supply is expected to be the exact same as Shiny Treasure in the beginning. I think you're going to see a lot of this printed. That's what Japan are doing. And I just wouldn't FOMO on this set. So that's what I want to say about Terrestrial Festival. Final thing I want to talk about, guys, is Halloween. A little bit of Gengar action. We got the Gengar tax coming in time for the holiday season, but Gengar's up 6% over the last little bit, up 6%. We got some nice little gains on the PSA 10s as well. We are starting to creep back up to that high watermark now, where I think they were selling like somewhere around kind of, what was it, $700 US. We're at 650, 670 on some of the eBays. So yeah, I think we're going to start to see that come back. And this Gengar VMAX too, seeing as it's the holiday season, it's just beginning, 32%. This one is up over the last 3 months. In the last month, it's up 13. Last 6 months, 34. Last year or so, up 44%. People might be grabbing this one because it's a nice art style. It doesn't match, obviously, the alt art, but it's a really cool art. And is it really that different for some people? Like, it's out of rotation. People aren't playing it, is my understanding. But yeah, just wanted to draw your attention to that. The truly terrifying thing for Halloween, though, guys, is the Mr. Mime card, which is up 29% in the last month. This is from 151. 59% in the last 3 months. 61% in the last 6 months. And for the year, it's almost back at its pre-release prices. Don't buy stuff in pre-release, remember. So yeah, that's Mr. Mime card. PokeRev will be very happy. So this is where the video ends for the people who are watching after the fact. If anyone's in the room, I'm going to check some comments, hang out for a little bit, and then go to bed. So hope you guys enjoyed it. Until next time, take it easy.